Hi guys, happy Sunday. I hope you're well. Here we go with the weekly reading. I'm going to use the Abstract Arcana deck. So I'm going to pull 7 cards to represent the week ahead and we're going to see what's going on. I always extend this reading on my YouTube. I use a second deck, some oracle cards. So you can search Microblonde Tarot. The link is in my bio. Alright, let's see. What does the week ahead have in store? There has been quite a lot of conflict and tension around recently. I think Mars is doing something. So if that's been happening around you, it wouldn't surprise me. Okay, here we go. So we've got the Hermit on day 1, the Star on day 2, King of Swords, day 3, 7 of Cups, day 4, the Moon, day 5, the Chariot, day 6, and the Page of Wands on day 7. Okay, so the Hermit, day 1. The Hermit represents Virgo in terms of the zodiac, but it's very much a card of self-reflection. As you can see there, this person is looking in the mirror. It can be pulling away, okay, silence, coming away from people, not feeling very social, not wanting to interact very much. It is very much a card of self-reflection and soul-searching. So you might find yourself at the beginning of this week not feeling like being around many people. Maybe you've got something that you need to work through in your own time, on your own, in your own space. And sometimes it is just about protecting that energy and allowing yourself to have some kind of peace and some kind of solitude away from the noise, away from the daily grind, that kind of thing. So that is what we get for day 1. Day 2, the Star, one of my favourite cards, probably my second favourite card after the Wheel of Fortune. The Star is about hope. It is about wish fulfillment. This person is sitting there wishing on a star, and it is about hopes and dreams. Sometimes manifestations coming in, but it also represents healing because the Star follows the Tower. So if there has been a lot of chaos in your life, if there has been a difficult situation, this does represent things going well, things being healed, a very, very uplifting and positive energy with the Star. Okay, day 3, the King of Swords. The King of Swords represents air sign energy, so Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. The swords in the tarot represent thought and the mental capacity. And the King of Swords is usually representing a masculine energy, someone that is trying to figure something out. It can represent a lack of communication because until this person has figured something out, they're not going to communicate. So it's almost like the cogs are turning, they're thinking about something, and then when they're ready, the sword will drop and there will be some kind of action, communication. So this could be how you're feeling. We all have masculine and feminine energies, but it could be someone around you. And if there has been a masculine energy that has been quite sort of distant, detached, cold, sharp with their energy, it seems to me that they're trying to figure something out. They're trying to find some sort of clarity or truth. And as a side note, sometimes this card can be linked and represented into sort of the forces and that kind of thing as well. Somebody in that kind of position, control or power or, you know, army, military, that kind of thing. Okay, day 4, the 7 of Cups. This person has all of these ideas, all of these dreams, but sometimes it's an illusion. Is it real or is it fantasy? Some of the things in these cups, the dragons and things like that. Is it real? Is it a fantasy? The 7 of Cups represents choices, okay? It is a dreamy energy. It is a dreamy energy, and it could mean that you are in the headspace of thinking of a million things at once, maybe creating some kind of, you know, vision for your life, vision for yourself. But sometimes the 7 of Cups can be a warning that not all is as it seems. Is what you're being told true? Is it real? Is it based in reality? Do you need to ground yourself a little bit more in reality, or have you lost yourself to some sort of illusion? Okay, so it can be situations around you, it can be you personally, but it does represent choices, it does represent decisions, but it's just saying that when you make these decisions, make sure you're grounded and you know all of the facts. Okay, day 5, the Moon. This has been coming out quite a lot lately. We have just had a new moon, new cycles, new beginnings. On this card, it happens to be like a full moon here. The moon is about cycles. It is about emotions. Okay, when we get a full moon, it often pulls on our emotions. People can feel a bit weird, a little bit off, that kind of thing. for me, it's about revelations. So it can be a revelation within yourself, particularly with that hermit energy. Maybe you've gone within, you've figured something out. There is like an inner revelation to do with your feelings on a subject or person or a matter. Other times it can be things being revealed to you that you were not aware of, other people's feelings, emotions, intentions towards you or a situation. All I would say with the moon is it can be quite an intense energy. This is falling on day 5, so the end of the week. It can be quite an intense energy and it can feel very overwhelming. So you might need to go back into that hermit energy to reground yourself, to rebalance yourself, okay? All right, day 6, the Chariot. So this week we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 7 are major arcanas. So usually this represents a major kind of energy shift. The Chariot is about forward action. As you can see here, the Cadillac roars in this cloud of smoke and the person is looking out across the horizon. The Chariot is very much asking you, what direction are you pulling in? What direction are you heading in? And what do you want to achieve? It is action, it is momentum. It does represent Cancer in the zodiac. But sometimes it's like, don't lose control, you know, in your sort of need to make progress or in your need to move a situation forward. Don't be reckless, don't lose control, because sometimes the Chariot is moving at such a pace, it's like we can't hold on to the reins. Traditionally, it's like a horse and carriage. So, you know, before you take action, I would say maybe stop and think a little bit, because it could be that you are acting impulsively, particularly as day 7 is Page of Wands. And Page of Wands can be a bit of an impulsive energy, saying things before we think, communicating something, you know, because it just has to come out because we can't hold it in anymore. So just be careful that next weekend you're not acting out of impulse with a little lack of self-control, is what I want to say. Maybe, you know, maybe you will, and maybe it will bring necessary results. But as we get to day 7 with the Page of Wands, this is often about communication, ideas, communication, action. But because of the other energy that we've got across the week, I would just be careful that you're not acting out of impulse or like lack of control, really. So that is the week ahead. I am going to clarify using a second deck. If you can stick around, please do. If not, I'll see you soon. Okay, let's clarify the week ahead, starting with day 1, the Hermit. Why do we have the Hermit for day 1? What are you needing to reflect upon, I wonder? What is this energy that we are reflecting upon? Okay, the 5 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups, some kind of disappointment. Some kind of disappointment that you've really been dwelling on. The 5 of Pentacles can be an energy of feeling not good enough or not chosen or not prioritized. The 4 of Cups is like a lack energy. It's not kind of realizing everything that you have. Maybe you wanted something more and it didn't come your way, or you didn't achieve it. But we do get the Ace of Cups, so there may be something better. Maybe there is something better coming to you. So what I would say is, if something hasn't worked out with a person or a situation and you've been feeling really low about it, very despondent, I think there is still hope. Because it's funny here on the 4 of Cups, there are 3 cups here and the person can't see this 1 cup being offered. And then here you get the 1 cup being offered. So I think there's something still to be gained from a situation where you'd given up or where you felt like all had been lost. I think there is still something to be gained from it, and potentially a new opportunity or a new beginning. Okay, day 2, the Star, hope, wish fulfillment, manifestation. Let's have a little look with the Star. Let's have a little look. The Ace of Swords, another ace, the 2 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Ace of Swords is, like all the aces, it represents something new, but the Ace of Swords can represent new thought patterns, new ideas, a new sense of clarity in your own mind. The Queen of Pentacles shows a very abundant and successful energy. So maybe you've got ideas of what you want to do with your career, where you want to head, you know, financially, or it's to do with the material side of life. The 2 of Pentacles shows that for a while now you've been juggling too much. There's been too many things that you've been trying to keep going at the same time. And the Knight of Pentacles is asking you to slow down. So in order to achieve the clarity and the success that you deserve, there's something that's got to give. You know, you need to slow down. Maybe you need to put something down, too much responsibility, this kind of thing. Okay. The King of Swords, day 3. The King of Swords, is this you? Is this someone around you? Let's have a little look. The King of Swords. The Queen of Wands. The 7 of Cups. 7 of Wands. Knight of Cups. Okay. This was a blossoming, this feels to me like this was a blossoming new romance with somebody. Somebody that was very attracted to you. Somebody that you were very attracted to also. But it's almost like somehow something's happened where either you have become very defensive or they have become very defensive and almost like pushed back. It's interesting that we've got 7 of Cups 2 days running, because it is about fantasy or illusion. So maybe this person isn't quite what you thought they were, or maybe you've sort of seen through the cracks in their armour or something like that. And maybe they don't like that. Maybe they don't like that you've seen a part of them that they didn't intend you to see, or something like that. I don't think this is you. I think this is someone around you. And I think that this is a situation where they just need to come to some kind of conclusion in their own mind. I wouldn't reach out. I don't think there's anything you can really do with this. There are feelings there, or there is an intention to get back in touch. But it's almost like they need to work through something. So I would let them do that. Okay, day 4, the 7 of Cups. Illusion, fantasy, choices, decisions. The 7 of Cups. Let's have a look. Judgment. Page of Cups. 3 of Pentacles. It's interesting with this Page of Cups and the 7 of Cups. They're very dreamy energy. Very dreamy energy. So on day 4, it could be like you feel like your head's in the clouds, that you're constantly living in some sort of fantasy land, that you're imagining all of the what ifs, buts and maybes, and that, you know, you're finding it very hard to ground yourself in reality. Judgment is an interesting card, because this can be about self-judgment, but sometimes it is about communication and conversations. And with the 3 of Pentacles, this is a much more solid energy of collaboration or opportunity. So it feels to me like there's an opportunity that will be presented to you towards the end of the week to collaborate or work alongside others, or even spend time with others. But the 3 of Pentacles is quite often a work scenario, or, you know, career based issue. Make sure whatever you're being offered or whatever you're considering, you've got all of the facts. That's all I want to say on that one, because there's so much dreamy energy, there's so much possibility, there's so much fantasy around something, that you need to get your feet back on the ground, okay? All right, day 5, the Moon. Our friend the Moon that keeps popping out every week. Why are you here? Why are you here, Moon? The Moon, the 6 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. Okay, 10 of Swords, 8 of Swords. They're both about fear. They're both about overthinking. They're both about feeling trapped. There's definitely an energy where you felt absolutely paralyzed and trapped in your own mind, in your own thoughts. And this could be to do with a decision where there's a big change, because the 10 of Swords represents ending something in order to begin again with the Ace. The 6 of Wands is an interesting one, because this is about success. This is about positivity and happiness and victory. So I think that if you're worrying about something, or you've been worrying at something and feeling very, very conflicted and very, very, very like uneasy, there is a good outcome. We do get positive outcomes. Queen of Cups, yeah, it's your emotions. Your emotions are almost more important than your thoughts, but your thoughts have overtaken everything, and you might be feeling a bit like that towards the end of the week. So it's just trusting the power of new beginnings, or the power of you know, endings are not always a bad thing. Sometimes doors do need to close to make room for other things in our life, and yes, it can be scary, but sometimes we just have to trust, and I think that's what you're being asked to do. Okay, the Chariot, day 6. So for me, this just feels like don't act chaotically, is what I want to say. Justice, the High Priestess, the Hangman. Yeah, it's saying hold fire a second. There's something going on towards next weekend where you really want to rush in, and I feel like you want to rush in with all guns blazing. That's what I want to say. But it's saying hold fire. There's more to a situation than you currently know, and if you go rushing in, it's almost like it's not going to go well. It's not going to be the right thing to do. Justice is here. Maybe you feel someone's done you wrong. Maybe you feel somebody owes you an apology. Maybe you feel like you've got to get something off your chest. I would say hold fire, because with the High Priestess, there's something yet to be known about it, and I just don't think it's the right time. Let's see what day 7 says. The Page of Wands. I just feel like you're going to feel all revved up, like you've got to say something, that, you know, you've got to do something, and I just don't think it's the right timing. Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. 10 of Pentacles. 3 of Wands. Again, you're getting weight. You're getting a bit of a weight energy with the 3 of Wands. Knight of Wands, Page of Wands. They're both action. They're both wanting to rush forward and say something or do something. But it's just saying wait. The 10 of Pentacles, it could be a family matter. It could be a relationship issue. Maybe you're trying to push a relationship forward or in a certain direction, and maybe now is not the time. 4 of Pentacles, yeah, it's a need for control. There's something here where it's almost like you're trying to do something because you want to be in control, or you want to try and control a certain outcome. I would just be a little bit careful next weekend, because the energy feels a little bit chaotic. Well, from Friday onwards, Friday, Saturday, Sunday feels a little bit chaotic. Let's pull a few Oracle and see what the Oracle wants to add. The week feels a little bit chaotic in general, okay? So definitely try and make time to ground yourself, whether that's walking barefoot in nature, or adding some salt, Himalayan salt to your bath or something like that. You need to try and stay grounded. We've got falling for you, rebound, blocks and obstacles. Look, how many times do we get the moon? End of a cycle. It's interesting that this card says end of a cycle, and this was saying that something needs to come to an end in order, you know, for new energy to come in. But I also take that as end to the blocks and obstacles and challenges that you've been facing. We got that at the beginning as well with the star moving forward, some kind of hope or healing. Justice again. Justice twice. For any of you facing legal matters, contracts or paperwork this week, this would be a very good indication of things going well. So try and ride out the chaos. Try and not be too impulsive, and let me know how it goes.